Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another morning coffee talks. Man, this is one of the topics I really be wanting to touch on. And this is something I dealt with in a small time period, a small window of my relationship. And that's why I would say avoidance, creating avoidance is going to create more stress for you. And what I mean by that is things you keep not bring attention to, things you keep dodging, right? It's just going to constantly keep bringing more stress to you. And most stress isn't caused by like what you're doing, right? It's caused by what you're avoiding. The longer you avoid something, the heavier it starts to become. So we need to talk about why avoidance is quietly creating anxiety and pressure in your relationship, in your life as a man. Now, one thing I learned, like I said, this small window is because I was always like, I learned earlier to just like be straight up, be honest, and stop avoiding things because not only does it put stress on your partner, it also puts stress on yourself, right? Because nothing's getting done to solve the problem or create some type of solution, and it just compounds stress, man. Like unaddressed problems don't stay small, and that was one thing I did. I was like, man, it's something small. I'm gonna just kind of let it bypass. But the more you allow it to just fester in your system, it grows. It's like just allowing water to be poured on a seed, and you think it's small, but then over time, again, it just grows. It grows not only physically on you because you feel it, right? You like, man, I'm stressing. I got anxiety about this situation, but mentally it grows over time, right? And again, it's almost like it creates this kind of constant background pressure, right? But the way you can kind of get out of it is when you do feel it, yes, take a second to breathe, right? We want to have emotional control. We want to have emotional clarity and emotional maturity about it. That way we can be clear about what the issue is and how to describe it and also how to bring that clarity towards it. But that takes action, right? Action brings that clarity. Taking action on a conversation, on whatever it is to address that problem, is gonna often reduce like anxiety immediately with it. Right. Again, that don't mean it's always gonna fix it right then, but at least brings that stress out and at least brings some relaxation to that anxiety, like I said, right away. It's almost like you know how like um you have a truth that you really need to tell somebody and it's almost like, man, that was a load off me. You ever heard that quote? Like, that took a load off me. And that's the same feeling. And so it comes from doing the action, not just thinking about it. Because a lot of times we get in our heads and it could be something that was minute, right? Something very small. But about time we finish thinking about it, now we got this huge boulder of a mess in our head when it was something so small. If we would have just attacked it right then through action, it when it got as big and had so much stress on your shoulders. So even being imperfect about it, or having imperfect action creates relief. Just getting it out your system. But again, like the smart thing to do is to allow yourself to really, like I said, dissect it. Just take a second, right? You need days at a time. You might need 8 days. That's not wrong with that, depending on what the situation is. But at least give yourself time to breathe. Like I said, kind of think about it to get clarity, but you don't let it fester. Don't let it fester. A few hours, like I said, depending on what it is, at most, maybe a day. And then just go ahead and get it out. And also, don't be fearful about it, right? Most fears are bigger than the reality of what the situation is. A lot of us be scared to say something, right? Especially like when it comes to our relationships, we like, man, this gonna make her mad, or hey, I don't know what she's gonna think about this, or this could affect my job, or man, I don't know my kids. Like we have so much fear than what it is. A lot of times it ain't even that serious. Like once like when you look back on a lot of things you've faced in life, it really is not even that big. In a moment, it feels so big. It feels so huge, right? But really, it's not even that serious. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't a situation when it's serious, but a lot of our problems day to day, things that we're facing, things that we try to sweep under the rug, try to hide internally, is really not that serious, man. Just get it over with, right? Because the reality of it is probably not as big as we think. But again, we get in our own way, we get in our own head about the issue and just make it something bigger than what it should be. But facing the issue, um, is gonna restore control over it, right? It's not you're not gonna let it control you. And with that, with facing it, it's gonna create confidence that grows through that confrontation, right? Through facing it. And that's what we want to be. We want to shrink, we want to have fear kind of shrink in our face, not be something that covers our face, right? Um, and I will say this, man, being responsible, being accountable to your to those actions, right, is going to create peace, right? Owning those responsibilities is going to reduce that mental clutter, right? A lot of us, yes, we'll own up to it, but let me say this: you got to be truthful about it too. That it's for you. You're not doing it for other people by owning up to things, right? Make sure it comes from your heart and your peace. That when you do own up to it, it is more beneficial to you because you're the one that got to sleep with it, right? You the one that's got to live with whatever that action, that situation was. So make sure it comes from the truth from your end, and then put it out because you can't dictate how other people are gonna receive it, right? But you can dictate how you release it from you. Don't try to release it with the intention of, man, this is gonna make this person feel better. No, make yourself feel better when you release it, right? And so that's you owning that responsibility, not just like, man, I gotta just do this because this person wants it done, right? And that's that wrong mentality of, and I can just use it for example, like in your marriage or your relationship, that happy wife, happy life. No, because you're doing it for that other person. You're not doing it for yourself and your personal peace. And we can't have that because again, then that creates that mental load. Then it allows, yeah, you might have released it, but it's still that festering because you didn't release it from your truth. You didn't release it from your own personal vindication, right? So that's when I say that responsibility creates peace. Be responsible to yourself to release it the right way, right? And that's going to give you that responsibility of releasing it the right way is going to give you direction and structure, right? It's going to give you that clarity and peace, and that peace is only going to come from when you're dealing things head on in the right way. Again, stop doing it for other people when you release whatever that problem and that stress and anxiety. Because again, you got to be the one to sleep with it. So don't halfway do it. If you're gonna release that stress to the other person, even from yourself, don't do it to make other people happy. Don't do it to make the situation just copacetic, right? Do it to make sure that it's fixed on your end and it's on the other end for whatever that problem is. So let me just say this again before we get out of here. If something's weighing on you, there's a good chance that it's something that you've been avoiding, right? So just handle it today, and I promise you'll feel lighter tomorrow. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all checking in. If you got any value from the video, hit the like on the video. If it's your first time watching, go ahead and subscribe. If you've been watching for a while, subscribe. And if somebody else need to hear this, share it out. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace.